Have you ever wondered what life was like for Abraham Lincoln before he became the 16th President of the United States? Today, we're going to peel back the layers of history and dive deep into the personal life of this iconic figure. What were the struggles that shaped him, that carved out the man we know as Honest Abe? From humble beginnings to immense hardships, Lincoln's journey was far from smooth. Let's delve into the life of this iconic figure and uncover the trials he faced on his journey to the presidency. Born into poverty in a log cabin in Kentucky, Lincoln's struggles began at an early age. His early life was marred by hardships, starting with his humble beginnings in a modest homestead built by his father's hands. The Lincoln family lived a life many of us today would find unimaginable, characterized by hard labor, scarcity, and relentless uncertainty. Abruptly, when Lincoln was just 9 years old, tragedy struck. His mother, Nancy Hanks Lincoln, passed away after a fierce battle with milk sickness, a disease contracted by drinking the milk of cows that had grazed on poisonous white snake root. The loss of his mother was a profound blow to young Lincoln, who found himself grappling with grief and sorrow at an age when most children are just beginning to understand the world around them. Following his mother's death, Lincoln's father remarried, and the family moved frequently, from Kentucky to Indiana and then on to Illinois. Each move was motivated by the promise of better living conditions and the prospect of fertile land. Yet, with each move came new challenges. They cleared forests to make way for farming, battled harsh weather conditions, and lived in constant threat of disease. Despite the relentless adversity, Lincoln took these hardships in stride. He helped with the farm chores, splitting logs for firewood and plowing the fields. He was a voracious reader, and even without the benefit of a formal education, he made it a point to learn, borrowing books and reading by the light of the fireplace. These early experiences ingrained in Lincoln a strong work ethic and a deep understanding of the struggles faced by the common man. He was shaped by these formative years, his character tempered by the fires of adversity and loss. The resilience and resolve he developed during these early hardships would serve him well throughout his life, guiding him through personal and political trials, and ultimately shaping the leader he would become. These early experiences with hardship and loss would shape Lincoln into the resilient man he would become. In an era where education was a luxury, Lincoln's quest for knowledge was a struggle in itself. This is a poignant truth that underscores the reality of a young Abraham Lincoln. Denied the privilege of formal schooling, Lincoln's education was a patchwork quilt of borrowed books, self-teaching, and sheer determination. His educational journey started with a meager 2 years of formal schooling, which was all that was available to him in the frontier regions of Kentucky and Indiana. However, this did not deter Lincoln. He had an insatiable curiosity and a hunger for learning that was not bound by the confines of a classroom. In fact, Lincoln's reading habits were voracious and diverse. He read everything he could get his hands on. From newspapers to legal texts, from poetry to philosophical works, Lincoln consumed it all with an unquenchable thirst. He would walk miles to borrow a book, and then read it cover to cover, sometimes even by the light of a fireplace. Overcoming the lack of formal education was no small feat. Lincoln's self-education was a testament to his tenacity and resilience. He taught himself law, studied grammar and literature, and even mastered mathematics. He knew that knowledge was power, and he harnessed this power to rise from a humble log cabin to the highest office in the land. His thirst for knowledge and self-improvement became a driving force in his life. This relentless pursuit of education helped shape Lincoln into one of the most respected and influential leaders in history. Long before he was president, Lincoln faced numerous political setbacks. To understand the depth of Abraham Lincoln's political journey, we need to delve into the early years, where the roots of his perseverance were sown. Lincoln's political career began in the Illinois state legislature in the mid-1830s. He was a member of the Whig Party, an organization that championed economic development. However, his political ascent was anything but smooth. His first attempt at a seat in the Illinois General Assembly in 1832 was met with defeat, but Lincoln was not one to be easily discouraged. He dusted himself off and tried again, this time securing his place in the legislature. It was in these halls that Lincoln honed his skills as an orator and a politician. However, the road to the White House was still steep and winding. Lincoln's ambitions led him to seek a seat in the United States Congress. His first 2 attempts were unsuccessful, but on his third try in 1846, Lincoln finally won a seat in the House of Representatives. His time in Congress, however, was marked by controversy and criticism. Lincoln's outspoken opposition to the Mexican-American War made him unpopular among many of his colleagues and constituents. When his term ended in 1849, Lincoln found himself politically isolated. His next political venture was a bid for the United States Senate in 1854. Despite a strong campaign, Lincoln lost the election, but his debates with Democratic incumbent Stephen A. Douglas captured national attention and laid the groundwork for his presidential campaign. In the face of repeated political disappointments, Lincoln remained undeterred. He believed in his cause, in his ability to make a difference. Each setback was a lesson, each defeat a stepping stone to greater understanding and resolve. His losses taught him patience, resilience, and the importance of staying true to one's principles, even in the face of adversity. Each failure, each rejection, only served to strengthen Lincoln's resolve. His story serves as a testament to the power of perseverance and the enduring spirit of hope. Behind the political life, Lincoln was a man grappling with personal loss and depression. A human being like all of us, susceptible to the blows of life. Tragedy first struck him early on, with the death of his beloved sister Sarah. She was not just a sibling to him, but also a mother figure, a beacon of support in his early life. Her untimely death when he was just 11 years old left a void in his life that was never truly filled. His sister's death was not the only time Lincoln was acquainted with the cold clutches of grief. Throughout his life he was often visited by a cloud of melancholy. Lincoln's bouts of depression, or melancholy as it was known in his time, were well documented and often misunderstood. In a world that didn't yet comprehend mental health, Lincoln battled his inner demons, struggling to keep them at bay while he led a nation. The sorrow of loss struck him once again, this time even more personally. The death of his son Willie was a blow that shook him to his core. Willie was just 11, the same age Lincoln had been when his sister passed. The parallels were haunting. Lincoln was known to visit Willie's grave in the dead of night, a testament to the depth of his grief. The loss of a child is a pain no parent should bear, and for Lincoln, it was a burden he carried alongside the weight of a nation on the brink of division. Yet, despite these personal losses and the shadow of depression, Lincoln never faltered in his duty. He shouldered his personal grief, channeled it into his work, and continued to lead his country with an unwavering resolve. His personal suffering did not weaken his leadership, but rather, it lent him a sense of empathy, a deep understanding of human suffering that was reflected in his policies. Despite the weight of his personal grief, Lincoln continued to lead his country with grace and determination. His life is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, and a reminder that even in the face of personal anguish, we can rise above and continue to make a difference. From his humble beginnings to his ascension to the presidency, Lincoln's life was a testament to resilience in the face of adversity. In our journey through the life of Abraham Lincoln, we've traveled across the landscapes of hardship, perseverance, failure, and triumph. We've seen the boy from rural Kentucky, born in a log cabin, who faced the harsh realities of frontier life. His early years were marked by poverty and the untimely loss of his mother. Yet these early life hardships did not break him. Rather, they instilled in him a deep sense of empathy and a strong will to rise above his circumstances. This was evident in Lincoln's struggle for education. Despite the lack of formal schooling available to him, Lincoln's thirst for knowledge remained unquenched. He taught himself, read voraciously, and ultimately became a lawyer, a testament to his unwavering commitment to self-improvement. But Lincoln's journey was not always upward. He encountered numerous political failures, losing multiple elections before he finally won the presidency. These setbacks, however, did not deter him. Instead, they reinforced his resolve and honed his political acumen, preparing him for the complexities of leading a nation on the brink of civil war. And then, we have the personal losses and bouts of depression that Lincoln experienced. These struggles deepened his understanding of human suffering and fortified his resilience. Through it all, Lincoln remained steadfast, leading the United States through one of its darkest hours and leaving an indelible mark on history. So, as we look back on the life of this remarkable figure, we see a man shaped by struggle and adversity. Each hardship, each setback, was a stepping stone on the path to greatness. Lincoln's story is not just about overcoming adversity, it's about how adversity can forge character and resilience, shaping leaders and changing the course of history. Lincoln's story tells us that the path to greatness is often paved with struggle, and it's how we respond to these struggles that defines us.